tensions are high on police force and brutality. According to thinkprogress.org, there have been between 790 to 844 people killed since 2016, and of which the highest percentage are Native Americans. There are some inherent issues that I will be talking to you about, and they are violence, police training, media, and how the U.S. is unsure what to do because of these inherent issues. My first inherent issue is violence. Improper use of force is very rare, and if they do use force, they try to use minimal force as firsthand. Only 1.5% result in complaints, and there is really no universal definition of what is too much force. They use the right amount of force that they deem necessary to protect them and the others that are around them because that is what they are taught to do. Also, police officers, they don't want to have to use too much force. Many of them who do have to shoot people, they go through trauma and they have to go through counseling. And when they do that, it's not only embarrassing for them, but it's embarrassing in the workforce that they have to go to counseling because of their job protecting people. They're having personal issues for it. Now, some cons to our violence is many of the people that are being shot, they are unarmed. And it leaves us thinking, the people who hear about it, was this the right thing to do? Did they have to be shot? Or could they have been tased? This also makes our police departments look bad because it makes them look like they don't know what they're doing, that they just were trigger happy, or that they were biased and racist and they just shot to shoot someone. An example of this is there was a 50-year-old colored man who was fleeing. His name was Walter Scott. And there's a white officer, Slager, who's chasing him, and he would not stop. And Slager fired not one, not two, but 8 rounds in his back when he was fleeing. And he was not a dangerous suspect. He was just running away. And this left us thinking, is Slager a racist? Why did he fire 8 rounds in his back when, 1, he could use his taser, and 2, he didn't have to use 8 rounds of bullets? Also, another con for violence is it usually happens to minority groups. You don't see it happening really with white officers and white officers, or black officers and black officers, as much as a mixed racial. My second inherent issue is training. In training, police are taught to learn how much force they can use. They are taught self-defense, and they are taught to control the situation in a proper manner. If that doesn't work, then they use verbal commands, and if that doesn't work, then they are taught to use their holds and restraints that they were taught in training, and then they can use non-lethal force as a taser, and if that, in the last order that they can use is a gun or lethal. And a con to this is training is different for everyone. People may go about it different ways. Some may be really good in the field, some may be not as good in the field, and is more better on the books and tests that they take. Real life situations are also different than training. The adrenaline that you get when you're in a real life situation is not going to be the same adrenaline that you'll get when you're in a real life situation. So some people may be thrown into the field when they really aren't ready, and some people may be in the field that are ready but aren't really smart about the decisions, or they blank out, so they just go to their gun to protect themselves. My third inherent issue is the media. The pro is it gets word out, it helps organizations, and it is a way to start charities for the poor or minority groups like black people, and it helps them to express themselves with racism, which is an issue in our world, and that's what Black Lives Matters is an organization that is about. And a con about media is it just puts gas on an already burning fire. It throws things out of proportion, and some things may be false. An example of this is the riots that are in Milwaukee. It also divides us into a more biased community. In my conclusion, there are many inherent issues on police brutality. As said in Line of Fire, we would all like to go about thinking that an officer's gun never has to be pulled out of its holster, but that's not reality. You have to take in consideration history, the law system, and our 3 inherent issues, and make your own choice about whether you think our police is using too much force. Everyone has a right to form their own opinion, and I hope there's enough information for you here to form yours. there was a chart and it had percentages, so I don't really have numbers, but Native Americans and blacks were the highest ones. And there was a big difference between like Hispanics or like Caucasian, and then it was like, boom, Native Americans and blacks that were shot the most. And the city that they were shot the most in is Colorado. Like, that's the highest one of police brutality. Yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned Native Americans are up there with the ones who are most often shot, but you never hear about it. You always hear about the black people. Why do you think that the Native Americans kind of pushed aside? You never hear about that.
I think that they're more associated with the black population, so when they say Native Americans, many people think black. That's just my personal, when I did research, that's what I got from it.
Did you see any connection to maybe the amount of Native Americans being less of a population total than African Americans? Is that why the numbers are so high if they're looking at percentages?
When they did the percentages, it was like Native Americans / blacks.
So they're all combined in one.
So it's pretty much like when I did my research, that's just what I did when I did my research.
When you did your research, do you know how many like black police officers were involved in like black criminal shootings, and like if there was much of an uproar, as you would say, like a white police officer?
There were some, yeah,
black criminal?
and it wasn't really much of an uproar, but some were armed. I did research, and a lot of the collared, both of them were armed. So it really wasn't much of an uproar, but there are some that aren't armed, so that's more of an uproar whenever they are unarmed. So.
All right.